everybody, and welcome to our twice daily, I call it a webinar, super class. I mean, a webinar would be something you just kind of like go, and then you sell. And this is not what we're doing yet. So twice a day, once on YouTube, once on my personal fan page, and at 4:00 p.m. Eastern, live on Instagram and the fan page. So we're on the fan page, the Instagram at 4 p.m., here on YouTube at 10:30 Eastern time, and 3:30 Eastern on the personal fan Facebook page. So we are everywhere. And the idea is very simple. The idea is to, during this coronavirus, which people seem to have forgotten about it now with all the riots going on there, is to give people an avenue to ask questions, to sharpen their acts and everything. My name is JT Foxx. I'm the world's #1 wealth and business coach, serial entrepreneur, best-selling author. The woman you see there is Francie, AKA The Pack. And we're going to do different topics twice a day. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, it's live coaching. So I literally yesterday coached a lady 50 minutes in a row. If you're on YouTube, do me a huge favor. Please press the like button right now before we get started. So how are you, Francie?
I'm great. I think this one is finally working. This may be the one we stick with. So,
except we only get to do it once at a time. I guess sometimes we have a hard time. It becomes a little hard to go through all the platforms at the same time. So maybe it's just better if we just do one and the content is there. So every single day we do this 6 days a week. The live coaching is 7 days a week. For me, this is day 84 days in a row where I have done either a webinar, a live, or a podcast every single day. And so we're approaching the 90-day mark. The 90-day mark since this has all started, which clearly in Chicago, I'm still shut down. Some parts are shut down. Some parts are start slowing down. And I've realized that there's a very big difference between customers and clients. And I've talked this before, and I'll repeat this. Number one, customers buy once from you, clients buy a lifetime. And what we figured out is if you take a look at some of the companies that have survived this and where their stock is going high or they continue to grow, they're companies that have had an ecosystem, right? If you think about it, Apple started with the Mac, then it started with then it was the iPod, iPhone, iPad, iWatch, iTunes, everything. And once you get into the ecosystem of Apple, like very rarely will you see someone says, I have a Mac, iPhone, and I decide to go with, another product that's not congruent. But you'll see a lot of Android users use whatever, their means they want, whatever PC doesn't necessarily need to match. And because Apple has built it, number one, easy to do business, they've innovated their brand, they've created a brand culture, and they kept updating their products and services. And even now, Apple does not lower prices. So I want to ask you here, yesterday, Apple made an announcement that they are lowering their prices in China to continue the momentum. So despite the coronavirus, China has reopened and they decided to lower their price on their iPhones. And you're the CEO of our company. You know what the price is. In a way, I've always said there's a pandemic price. And when it starts over, we're going to be back to normal. But right now, I think people have to make concessions. I think people need to prove results. So do you think people should discount prices, do things they haven't done before? And how do they get over that fear of once people paid one price, when things get back to normal, well, you already charged me this. Why would I pay for that? How do you feel about that?
So I think the majority of people understand that right now, the world is going through a pandemic. The world, really the world is in crisis right now. And there's been so many terrible things happening all over the world. And we are only on June 2nd. I think that people understand, this is a discounted price. This is for right now, and know that I'm going to pay full price. I mean, we've done it in our own business, right? We've discounted some prices. We've done things we've never done before, offered things we've never done before, are doing things at ridiculously low prices, because of the situation of what we're going through. And we want things to be available to anyone and everyone. And I think it builds goodwill with customers. I know a lot of local businesses here, the restaurants that had been able to stay open and do takeaway during the pandemic. I've probably become like the biggest supporters of certain restaurants in my neighborhood, because I don't want my local area to be taken over by big box chain restaurants, right? I want to help support these local restaurants. And as a result, a lot of them are giving us discounts, will give us free drinks, will give us free appetizers, will only charge us for 2 of the things when we order 5. And I think as a result, personally, as a customer, I appreciate that. And, you know, a lot of times what I'm doing in turn is tipping, and probably tipping more than even what I'm spending. Or like Uber right now. Uber is doing free delivery. Uber Eats, they're doing free delivery and all these incentives. And when you order on Uber, you can choose to donate money specifically to the restaurant to help. And I think that right now, I think people understand it's not going to be like this forever, right? You're not going to give me free delivery. You're not going to give me buy one, get one free. You're not going to give me a half price discount. It's not going to be that way forever. And I think the majority of people understand that. And the majority of people are saying, okay, I'm going to appreciate this. I'm going to take advantage of this pricing. I don't think people are going to expect, or people are going to say, but in the middle of the pandemic, I only paid X. I would hope that that's not going to be the case. As a consumer, I understand that. And I would think most consumers, you know, would understand that.
Well, based on what's happening in the world, there's especially in America right now, there's a lot of people who don't understand, which is very interesting with all the riots and cities are being shut down. The city of Chicago is actually literally shut down. They quarantined it around. It's interesting to see the Whole Foods is completely boarded up, you know, right near my building, completely surrounded.
You know, my street, I don't know if I sent you the picture or not. The street I live on has a lot of restaurants, restaurant bars on it. A lot of these restaurants just reopened, and within days now, they're completely boarded up and closed. Because I'm sure the owner of the building, right? Because it's a couple of buildings with multiple units. So I'm sure the owner of the building was like, it's not your individual restaurant choice. We are boarding the building so we don't have to, you know, potentially replace.
You know, 2020 was a cool sounding number, but man, that's just a bad luck. Number.
The 2020 motto is make it to 2021.
So I think everyone's to start take a look at it. What's going to be my second act enter my business? And I think, and this is what I thought this morning when I did some of my strategic thinking, you know, I need to get more involved into the process of getting the customers, getting involved, hearing what it is, and coaching. You know, over 80 people one-on-one, and something I hadn't done in years and years, probably 7 years, 8 years, probably, 8 years since I've coached that many people one-on-one. And yesterday, I mean, I coached this lady on Instagram for 50 minutes straight, right? I didn't even know anything about her business. I pressed the button and built her whole fitness brand. And I just did that live. I did that it was very interesting to see like how quickly, and it's really amazing that people right now, in terms of the customers, right? They have to, like, you have to be able to now have other product offerings, doing other things. Like, for example, we have Millionaire Flicks, right? Which is literally every program I have for $20, right? All 51 of them, 4,000 hours. We're no one in the world. I'm an A-list speaker, but we've added different things. So number one, I do a daily audio. And I've been doing that for 2-3 years. And I think that's made a very big difference, where every single day, 365 days a year, I do an audio, where I'm at, what I'm doing, whether I'm having a good day or a bad day. You know, I told this morning how last couple of days I've had a hard time. I really had a hard time getting, you know, I can do my job. I can't do the great of the job, like the unexpected, like the things that are like the JT moments. And I had to change the routine. And I did that this morning. And I explained that I did that. I also put another show and we just did one now, where basically I'm evaluating deals, stuff that I'm buying, whether it's companies or real estate or lending money. And people are inside my meetings. Nobody does that. My coaches right? My coaches coach me and people can hear. I bounce off ideas off my coaches. And the reason why this matters to people, it's because it's raw, real, different, but more important, inclusive. And that's just many examples of things that I provide. Now, interesting, then I have a podcast called Billionaire versus Millionaire, The Logic of Success, right? And the podcast before that, you and I do a podcast called The Powerful. It's a weekly debate show where we put up. And then we have another avenue. And then I had a daily podcast that I started when the coronavirus started, where I report the business news. And now I came up with Billionaire versus Millionaire, The Logic of Success, because I got bored. I started this 4 days ago. And I did 3 shows so far. One on the difference of time management, how billionaires manage their time, how millionaires, and how people with excuses. Then I did the Kylie Jenner thing. We explained the billionaire, what happened, how she's not a billionaire, but how she built her brand, which a lot of the things she did, I did the exact same thing, except she's Kylie Jenner and has been on TV for 10 years and got the whole Kardashian kind of machine behind it. And then yesterday I did the difference between billionaire thinking, millionaire thinking, and everybody else's thinking. And yesterday, by doing the show, I 100% know why I'm not a billionaire after listening to that podcast. So I look at the statistics, and since I changed the format of the show, now I put that show on Millionaire Flicks, so I still do the daily news. I just put it on Millionaire Flicks. And interestingly enough, if we go on Millionaire Flicks, people religiously will spend 2 or 3 hours on it listening to everything. And on the podcast, it goes up and down. It's not as consistent because it's free and there's no accountability. And I think this whole world is being flooded with free content to the customer that in the end, people are just consuming information for the sake of consuming. Even on Netflix, which we call Brokeflix, you can watch, 5 or 6 series and not retain that information. And it's interesting because I've been watching a couple other things on YouTube just to see very successful people. And they also been making fun of people about the employees staying at home, binging on Netflix, not doing anything. And people are becoming stupider rather than sharpening their skills as well. And interestingly, we're doing all this stuff in theory for less money. One program, 5,000. Now you got 51 for 20 and everything. So I think people are not real estate, that we're all farmers. And you have to get down in the dirt and plant things yourself right now, during this time. When it's over, you don't have to. But it was very interesting to see what Elon Musk, and the reason why Elon Musk is benefiting from the fruit of his labor right now with the SpaceX and even Tesla. I mean, he almost lost it all twice, right? And I think that's what the point is. And people appreciated what he did because they know the sacrifice that he did. He knew the pain. They know his work ethic. He works hard. He may be a little crazy. And I think that's what people want to see now. I think we're all the underdog. We have my book, Millionaire Underdog. We're all underdogs.
Bring it all full circle, though. And how does all of that get you more customers?
It does, because number one, it's just like saying, we want people to invest in my private equity now. Because like that guy is 7 days a week, nonstop, reinvented themselves. If you have money right now, do you want to invest with someone you're like, wow, this guy's got a lot of money and look what he's doing. Look how he's innovating. And we have a lot of people in the industry. Look where they are now. And by the way, I did it without buying likes. I did it without doing videos, talking bad about other people to build up my audience. I did it on my own merits. And maybe I don't have as much following, but I definitely have a bigger bank account than many of them as well. And I did the unexpected. I did that, and I created, and the results have been very good, but they haven't been extraordinary in terms of that. But we solidified our base. We made them what's called profitable loyals. And what that means is you take your customer base and you basically strengthen the core. Empires are built on your profitable loyals. Empires I've always built on clients who like you. Like for me, whatever Apple comes out, they probably won't come out with anything September this year. They'll probably delay. I don't care what phone it is. I'm going to buy it. I have a Mac here. I have an iPad. I have my iPhone. I mean, everything here is Mac. There's all these chargers I bought, right? I mean, listen, like I bought this before the coronavirus, right? I bought another one, right? This little flash driver, right? And this is like $30. Okay. I buy a cord, it's $10. How much is really this cord? Right? Like what? 10 cents in China? Like, why is this cord so expensive? Like, how much do you think this costs to make? But they get a premium. And that's the thing is most people, they look at their business and their customers as they are a transaction, right? We looked at our clients as they were family. And we sort of got away from that at the beginning of February for at least a 30-day period, because we didn't feel we were appreciated. But you said something that you heard somewhere else, but you've been saying it over, and it's so true. Can you say about expectations? Can you talk about that? I want everybody to listen to this. Go ahead.
That the only way to be happy is to have zero expectations in other people. And that actually, JT, you sent me a podcast to listen to, and I listened to it, and it was would you say athletic trainer?
No, don't worry. Don't need to say who.
But the podcast though was really, really good. And it was something though, which I think was something that I really took away from it, because everyone, as somebody that has a business, you have employees, you have teams, you work with other people. And, I don't want to say that JT's not a happy person, but he's often disappointed. JT's often disappointed. And I've, throughout this quarantine, I've texted JT multiple times in like disappointment in people and their actions and what people do. And so when it was said, the only way to truly be happy is to have zero expectations on them. And then someone else had said something similar in expectations, that you can't put the expectations you have on yourself on other people, because no one's going to work as hard as you. And you can't expect that just because you love to work and you want to get up at 4 and you want to drive your business and you want to, get on a call at 11 o'clock at night and you want to work on Saturdays, you can't expect that somebody else is going to want to do that. And I think
but people want what I have. That's the difference. If they said, you know what, I'm not interested. I don't want to be worth whatever JT's worth. I don't want to have an empire. I don't want, but also too, I'm glad you listened to that podcast, because you understood the way I am. Not that I don't think you did not know, but honestly, in 7 years of you, working for me, being my CEO for the last 2, or last year, but pretty much was running it for the last 2 years. I mean, have I ever let you down? Like, have I ever, would you always look back and say, have I ever let you down?
Just still waiting on
the Porsche that I gave you. The Porsche that I gave you is a gift. How you choose to do with the gift, the Porsche that I re-gifted to you, that I have never driven it.
Right.
I don't know what the problems are. I never even drove. Someone gave me a Porsche and I gave it to you. But have I ever let you down?
No, I mean, you've always delivered on what you've said. And
okay, so let me ask you a question. Have I ever, and you've been around as a client, then you were like in the office, then you were VP of marketing, then you did everything. Now you're the CEO, you run the empire, right? Have you ever, and I want to ever seen me let a client down or not do what I would say I was going to do with a client?
I can't think of any occurrence off the top of my.
So then why is it so many times I get attacked or people say things about me, people talk about me? And I want everybody to understand there's a point to all this. It's not, you know what I mean? I know what the answer is. I know what the answer is because I've come to light. That's one thing about this coronavirus thing. You start really find out who you really are to the core, right? Because now there's time to reflect. So why do you think we do everything we're going to say? We keep giving. Our event's mega success is by far the greatest event, 30 plus celebrities, the quality of people, the amount of content, the fact that I create Millionaire Flicks. By the way, if you're listening to this, please press the like button. We do this twice a day, different topics. I do an hour of coaching. Press the like button. It really helps the channel out. Please press the like button. So why is it, do you think, that people see me in a different way from your perspective?
I think it's a few things. One, I think it's because you're incredibly brutally honest and straightforward with people. And I think a lot of people don't like to hear the truth. That I think that is 100% reality, is people do not like to hear the truth. People want to hear what they think. People want to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth and the reality of things. And you give things to people straight. Two, I think we deal with entrepreneurs and business owners that want, not everyone, but I think there is a group of people that think it's just an easy button of, okay, now I have JT, so now he's just going to give me these introductions and he's just going to give me money and he's just going to fix everything and I don't actually have to work. And people, again, have this, distorted reality of there's not an easy button.
There's no easy button.
It's not an easy.
And to be honest with you, customers are hard to deal with. I mean, their clients are paying the butt. For those of you who are in the service industry, it's not easy. For those who sell a product, you're never going to make people, in an age where people go online, write whatever they want, and some maliciously, it's not hard. It's hard. I think part of the problem is that if you take a look at it, polarization, which is what I am. And I'm polarizing because I tell people how the truth is. And I don't.
You know what's interesting though, is we talk a lot about you being polarizing. And if you really, really think about it, I don't think you're actually polarizing. Okay. You're not talking about belief systems. You're not talking about racial, religion. You're not talking about what's right or wrong. You're not sharing views that are very polarizing to people. And I think we've just always said you're polarizing because there's not another way to categorize it. People don't want to hear reality, and people don't want, something I've definitely
maybe it is. Here's the point. Maybe as you continue your point,
they don't want to look in the mirror.
Maybe it's a polarizing personality, perhaps, would probably be, right? Like, for example, like we'd be able to be in a business meeting and we will call people out in their crap because it's either incorrect or wrong, or someone's not doing, we will call up. So maybe that's more of the point is that we call people out on their business practices, or, we call it as it is, or we say, hey, this is the way it should be because it doesn't make sense. And people don't like that because we don't kiss butt. Sometimes we have to, when we have to certain people that are higher than us, or we have to get a deal done, or a celebrity to appease something. But in terms of the people we do business with, right, we're very upfront. And I think, but here's the thing too, the people that accuse me of polarizing, right? Like some of the promoters that have got me on stage, where are they now? Right? Where are they now? And how much time did we deal with their people and the aggravation of like being lectured? And I think I would argue that business is very much like chess. Every move has the consequences, and people don't like when they get checkmate or check.
Right. But, I think that I really do think it just comes down to is a lot of people think I'm going to get coaching from someone. And, I don't know where the preconceived notion comes from, because if you think about it, if I go to the gym and I get a trainer and the trainer tells me, or I tell the trainer, I want to lose 10 pounds, right? That's the goal. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose however many inches, or I want to build my muscles to this. The job of that coach is not to say, I think you look beautiful the way you are. I think you're fine. I don't think you need to change anything. Just love yourself. Just be happy with yourself. No, the job of the trainer is to say, stop eating cake. Stop eating pizza. Get your butt on the treadmill. Don't lift the 5-pound weight, lift the 10-pound weight, because you're being a wimp. You can lift more weight than that. You can run a little bit faster. You can do a bigger incline, right?
No, they're afraid of losing the customers. That's the point.
But here's the thing. When you look at an athletic coach, you're prepared for them to kick your butt because you're not going to see a shift in your physical output, your health, your, your appearance, your capability, right? Like you look at professional athletes, like, right? How do they run a second faster? How do they jump an inch higher, right? They're looking for the tiniest millimeter of movement. And it's not through coddling and you're doing great and I think you're okay, I don't think you need to change. But when we shift it over to a business coach, for some reason people think, and I don't know why they think this, but they think that coach is going to be like, you know what, you're doing great, just keep trying, just put in another offer, instead of saying, you know what, no, you're not getting a deal because you're not getting an investor for your deal because you're not giving the investor a good enough deal. You're not getting new customers because your marketing message isn't good enough. And so I don't understand why one version of a coach, you expect them to be hard and kick your butt, but another version of a coach, you expect them to coddle you and hug you and just tell you it's going to be okay. Because the whole point of getting a coach is, and it doesn't matter if it's a life coach, if it's a financial coach, right? Like think about going to a financial advisor. You don't go into a financial advisor and be like, I want to invest, I want to make more money, I want to save more money, and expect them to just be like, you're doing great, just keep doing what you're doing. No, they're going to tear your numbers apart and be like, you're spending money here, you shouldn't be spending money there, you got to cut back on this. And the whole point is why does it come to the industry we coach in, we're expected to not tell people the truth, but in other industries of coaching, not only did they tell them the truth, they push them harder, right? Think of any trainer I've ever had or you've ever listened to, they tell you to run 10 minutes on the treadmill. You get to the end of the 10 minutes and all of a sudden they're going to jack up the speed and they're going to be 90 more seconds, all out, leave it all on the floor. But a business coach, it's not like, oh, you did a great Facebook campaign. If we say to someone, you did a great Facebook campaign, but you need to change this instead, and you're not doing this right, and your slogan's wrong, and your email sequence sucks, now we're bad people because we push them.
Hey, maybe sometimes you have to be willing to lose the customer to win the game. And I think sometimes we're so afraid that if we lose this customer, it's going to affect. So what happens is we become a B word to the customer. The customer thinks they own you, you need them. No, the customer needs you. They need your product, your service, your investment. And yes, there's a lot of choices, but you're the best one. You're the one who's going to give them a result. And that's the point. When I give some live coaching on Instagram every day, and it's so funny. People press the button. I'll give them the truth, which I found out they've been lying to themselves rather than saying, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I just got caught. I'm bothered by it. I'm going to change. No, what they do is they unfollow and they probably tell everybody that it's my fault and I didn't understand it, because most of the customers deal in denial. Everyone has a problem until they find out what the problem is. They're in denial about their problems and they don't really want a problem. They think they have a problem. I think people, what they want to hear, okay, the customers, it's not your fault. That's ultimately what they want to hear. They want to be told it's not their fault, right? Because nobody wants to take responsibility. That's why 3% of the people succeed. So here's the lesson. You can play short term or long term. Now, for those people, in closing, if you're afraid of your customer being honest and that you're going to lose a customer, tell the customer, is it okay if I'm honest with you? If they say yes, that's called permission-based selling, then you get away with it. But if you're going to earn, I've learned through the past week, probably more than any other time, by listening to a lot of things. If you care about what other people think on your way on top of the mountain, you'll eventually either slip and fall and kill yourself and fall down. You'll either walk back down because you're going to be discouraged, or you'll just sit and look at the top of the mountain wondering shoulda, woulda, coulda. You have to go in there, because on the way up, and that's what we pray, as we are climbing, we want our clients to climb with us. And I think that's why we've built a successful brand, not only in the private equity, not only in the events industry or any other businesses, and I own a lot. It is that mentality of bringing people along, of innovating, disrupting, repivoting. Just like, for example, we were on a private platform doing Webinar Jam. Now we brought it to here, YouTube, and then Facebook. We're going to do the personal page at 3:30 Eastern time. So YouTube every morning at 10:30 East time. Personal page, we're going to talk about customers. We are going to talk about different topic. We're going to build an ecosystem. We're going to learn how to create other products and other services. That's going to happen on the Facebook page at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, at 4 o'clock live on Instagram or the fan page. Then we do that. If you can press the like button right now, we'd really appreciate it. Share it and spread it. If you don't have Millionaire Flicks and you want to learn how to grow and scale a business, get my course, How to Grow and Scale a Business. Always start with $10 million and work backwards. I don't care. You always start with the end result. And before you say to me, JT, 10 million is a lot. 10 million, whether it's Canadian, Rand, dollars, whatever currency you're in, it's not, because if your profit margin is 12%, 13%, that's only 1.3 million. After you pay taxes, you're not a millionaire. So understand, people get taught about these differences. Check out that course, How to Grow Any Business to 10 million on Millionaire Flicks, for only $20, but also get 50 others of my courses. And for those who have listened, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to upgrade if you have Millionaire Flicks, which many of you here have based on the comments. Upgrade to level 2. Get coaching every single day. And if you can't, you can listen. Ask your question. Stop being a fan and start participating in the game. Be level 2. Ask your question. Every single week, Francie and I, until this coronavirus is over, we've been doing this every Friday. We basically do like kind of Zoom with everybody. I can see everybody's faces. It's very small, intimate. Ask your question. I challenge you to upgrade to level 2, which is almost nothing. Be in the game. Be in the circle of people. Get your question asked with a lot of like-minded individuals, but get coached, because you're guaranteed a level 2 by having your question of me and Francie answered. Many of you have a lot of questions that have gone answered. Get level 2. That would be my suggestion to you. And by the way, because JT's talking about, it's $20 Millionaire Flicks, not that much money. The level 2 is only a small amount. To get coaching 4 times a week, to guarantee to get your question, you got to upgrade. And too many of you are not upgrading here, and you're there. Take the knowledge. It's nice to learn something and say, okay, what about this? Rather than wondering. Start wondering. Start implementing, but make sure you're right path by upgrading to level 2. And we will be back today again at, we're going to be back today at this. I also recommend on YouTube, you watch the video, How I Practice Business, and also how to make millions of dollars without work, effort, and no money. It's so easy. Watch that video, the 7 steps to do that, and you'll be shocked by that as well. And there's a lot of other videos here on the YouTube channel that can be very beneficial to you. And we will be back talking again about customers. Tomorrow, speaker, coaches, and consultants. Thursday, marketing, funnels, and sales. Friday, talking about Your Money Matters. And Saturday is a wild card. We usually have a celebrity or one of my coaches coaching you as well. Is there anything you want to add, Francie?
I think it's just really important that, I know today's topic was how to get more customers. And I think one thing I just want to add is you've got to do something, whatever it is, like just do something. Doing anything is better than just sitting there waiting, right? Nothing's going to happen if you're just waiting for people to come to you. So just go out there and do something.
And sometimes you have to be able to say, you know what? So you know what? Let's talk about this afternoon, how to do the free model. Sometimes you have to say here, I'll give it for free, and how to convert from free to paid. That's what we're going to talk about this afternoon at 3:30, how to do something for free, give a product, a service for free, and how to convert it to paid so they can appreciate it as well. We're going to go over that and we'll analyze that. Also, check out my podcast, Billionaire versus Millionaires, iTunes or Spotify or where else you listen to. Understand how successful people think, so you can think like them and stop thinking like all the negative people in your life as well. Press the like button before you go. Leave your comment. I very appreciate it. We'll see you again at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone be safe. And again, live coaching at 4 p.m. on Instagram. Add yourself on all the platforms as well. I appreciate you. We're going to keep giving you value every single time. Upgrade to level 2 Millionaire Flicks. And if you don't have Millionaire Flicks, get it. Start sharpening your axe. We'll see you again later today. 3 times a day. We're here for you live, not pre-recorded. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you later.